I'm going to install this 12-volt off-grid mini split air conditioner in this RV. Right up here, I'm going to use the hole under this antenna to run the high and low pressure lines as well as the power cables. And I've decided the unit is going to go right here and blow into the RV. This is about a $350 unit. I got it from Amazon. I bought this one because it was $350, so it was the lowest price without shipping, and it got here quickly. Hoses are going to come in here and they're going to run over to this side to this unit. The batteries are down here, and for now, I'm just going to run this off of lead acid. This unit comes with 8-gauge wire, and I installed this in my boat directly to a 12-volt battery and also to a 12-volt power converter. And these wires got pretty darn hot even at the short distance. And I got a fuse. This is 150 amp. I also got these clamps so I can clamp everything down up top. And then these solar panel mounts we're going to use to mount this bad boy is a solar panel mount. And then this land was my plan to cover the hole that's existing for the antenna adjustment and then run through this. The cable wire comes down in its own hole right up here, right in this corner. I may just have to open that hole up a little more. Up there is a hole that all that wiring goes this way. Under my refrigerator here is where the inverter is. We have a 1,000-watt inverter. The only thing this inverter runs is a refrigerator while we're driving down the road. But we've got, it looks like 2-gauge wire. So we've got our own 2-watt wire that are coming into terminals here. Run these to a bus bar here. And then up there, so that's where it goes. And those wires are going to go back up to that cabinet. All right, well, I've got access to the control unit. It's got this, had this little cover here. These are some very small screws. The plan is going to be to lift it off of the RV roof by just a little bit. The plan is just simply to take some of this weather stripping and put it on the bottom of these and then screw it right into the roof of the RV with the provided screws. So the installation is going to be pretty simple once I get it up there. A little bit of progress and everything's ordered. I think 4-aught wire is going to fit into this wiring loom, so I didn't order any new wiring loom. So that's going to be good. And I got some of this putty, so weather strip putty on these, ready to go. Well, I'll get up there, I'll peel this off so it's not sticking to everything. I'm just going to leave it up here. I'm not going to screw it down. I think that'll be the last thing I do. Make sure these wires are short enough. If I have enough wire, maybe I'll move it to the middle because these pressure lines are kind of long, so they're going to be snaking around up here. So yeah, I do like this location, but I do like that location. But if my wires are long enough, it's going in the middle. I built this and I used some white matching screws here. I could finish it off, paint it if I want to later. But this is up in place, and I put the AC unit up there. So there is, there's the top of the door, and just in case anybody would be interested to see, I'm not even on the bottom step, and I can just barely touch it. So we got plenty of clearance. I do need to go and get 10 feet of hose, and I'll come down. It's gonna go in here, and see, I open this up here, so you see where those wires come in, and they come down. And then all the way down. That hole back there, it literally goes out to the ground. So I'll be able to just run 6 or 8 inches of the hose out there and just leave it. And then maybe I'll put some expanding foam in there. But yeah, here's our wiring chase. So I've got the bus bars, which will go down below. This 4-gauge wiring is so much more flexible than the 2-gauge. Also, it fits in this like gland here. When you back this off, there's a rubber seal in there. You gotta force that seal on here and then kind of put it back together. This little nut back here twists off. So you got to push it in there, but it's going to go right in here, and then it's going to tighten down, and it's going to create its seal like it's supposed to. So I don't have to slobber that with any sealant on the top or anything. So I think that's going to be good. And then obviously this other one I got to cut apart to get those big hoses to fit into. So that's going to be probably the whole thing. What I did yesterday was install this tube. So I cut this hole here. I could probably get a grommet if I wanted to, and I just ran it down here over out that hole, which I have some spray foam to fill because every other hole is filled except for that one. I don't know why. and it's down a few inches below the RV, so it's just going to drip right to the ground, and we're going to have no problem with the condensation dust. I've got a metal scraper and a plastic scraper. Obviously, I'm just going to carefully not cut my roof, a hole in my roof, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. We're getting close. The generic Turnabon has all been laid. I did clean it with acetone, so I've done this. You can see how it's clean here. This I'm waiting for the gland thing, the entrance part, and then I'll worry about these holes once I figure that out. But I think we're ready to grab drill bit for the electrical and figure out this one. Got this open again. I'm ready to put these wires on here. One of these standard mini screwdrivers does not fit onto this control board. So you've got to get something like this. All right, I laid out my wire as far over there as possible. Now I need to open up my hole so that I can actually get this wire down in here. All right, well, it was a trip, but we got the wiring right about where I want it. I'm gonna go down, see if we have enough. And this doesn't need to be moved right now. While the camera battery is charging, I just went ahead and finished this up here. I think it looks pretty good. I haven't put the die core on yet. That's next. Clean it off again one more time and then put the die core on. So yeah, these turned out really nicely. Don't have to do anything around there. I will fill this in some with die core to get some die core down in there to make sure that is nice and sealed up. The rest of this is good. I'll hit some of the edges of this with die core. And I went ahead, I do have some 5/16 by 1/2 inch bolts, and I just put one on each side. These ones that came with these brackets seem to be doing fine, but back there was no structure for those solar panels, and it was just it was just a mess. Nothing was working. So like I'd already showed, these wires just went right in there pretty easily. Screwed them right in. I went a little crazy with the hold downs, so I'll have to put a little bit of core on top of each one of those. There it is. This was 3 tubes of die core. Those 2 solar panels took almost 1 tube all by themselves. The rest of this took basically 1 more tube, but there's a low spot down in here. This is just full of die core. You just need a special set of these gauges. You can probably rent these from any auto parts store. And then what you're also going to need is this pump. This pump here is going to provide the vacuum. Red and blue, high pressure, low pressure. One's big, one small. So they always go one way. This is standard R134 automotive Freon. You squeeze this and it pops on there pretty easy. And then these twist in. This pushes the valve in. So now you know you have activation of the valve. And once the pump is on, you turn this one up. Open these up. And these gauges will drop to like -30 to make sure all the connections are tight. Let it go. Let's go inside and finish up our wiring. All the fittings on these bus bars are 13 millimeter. Cut the cable. Here's the bus bar. This one, the way it comes out, wants to go here. Not a big deal. The other ones are here. I'll put this little cover on it. We'll be protected, and then I'll move to the hot side. Here's the wiring. There's a red bus bar. So negative, positive. Kind of tucked it down there. Let's see if we have power, because we should have power. There it is. It's on. Well, online this says it takes 600 grams, which is like 22 ounces. So really about one of these. The problem is this leaked a lot of oil out, so I got an oil charge. I'm going to do this first. Well, this has vacuum. Go ahead and put this one on there and then shoot some in there. And this is just oil. I don't think this needs a lot of oil, but oil nonetheless. There's some oil. I want to show you can just use one of these if you need to refill it. So I want to put some Freon in here first. Now I'm going to turn it on. We are on 30. This thing feels empty, so a little more, we're good. And it is kicking out some cold air. I've got it as low as it'll go, which is 3. I think that's a 3 degrees Celsius. Typically 10 is fine. When I'm at, well, 10 to get it cold. When you're sleeping at night, you want to turn down even lower. So still 68 degrees in here. So I don't have a thermometer, but that's cold. That is cold. Portioning valve's cold. We're getting cold air. Wires aren't even hot. Not even a little bit. It's feeling good. In the neighborhood. These 2 batteries down here, we're going to get about 3 hours of life out of them, maybe if that. So the plan is not to use it to sleep at night. We'll use a generator. This is going to turn on while we're driving down the road, so I don't have to run the generator while we're driving for 5-6 hours. I want to put just one 300 amp hour down there. That's a thought, but I don't have the money for that right now. But I think that would be easy to just drop one 300 amp hour right down there. Hopefully soon I'll be able to test this, show you how long it runs on these batteries. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, like, subscribe, and the bell.